Enter a contaminated atmosphere until you're absolutely certain that your respirator is working properly. These workers may not know it, but they just committed a citable offense under OSHA regulations. On those occasions when employees must share a respirator, the respirator must be cleaned and sanitized before another person can use it. While sanitation is one reason to keep your respirator clean, another good reason is that proper care will maximize your respirator's effectiveness and service life. In fact, it's so important to keep your respirator clean that some companies assign specific employees to do the job. If you're responsible for cleaning your own respirator, you need to know there is a right way and a wrong way to do it. The right way is a multi-step process. You must clean, sanitize, rinse, dry, reassemble, and inspect. Always follow your company's procedures and use cleaning products recommended by the respirator manufacturer. A typical cleaning and sanitizing procedure would start by taking the respirator apart. Remove and set aside the cartridges or filters and accessories, such as communications gear or hoods. Clean the respirator with alcohol-free wipes, or immerse it in a bucket or sink containing warm water and a mild detergent free of lanolin or oils. The water should be less than 110 degrees Fahrenheit. Scrub the respirator with a soft brush or sponge. If you use a full mask, take care not to scratch the lens. Rinse thoroughly in fresh, warm water. Running water is best if available. A thorough rinse will help prevent detergent residue from drying out your skin or causing dermatitis. Plus, some detergents can deteriorate rubber parts or corrode metal parts if not rinsed completely. To sanitize the respirator, immerse it in a disinfectant water solution. An example is 1 ounce household bleach to 2 gallons of water. Your employer will provide specific instructions for the mixture you should use. Rinse components again under warm running water. Allow components to air dry or lightly pat them dry with a soft towel. Do not use heaters or bright sunlight to dry your respirator because it may be damaged. Reassemble and inspect the respirator before using it. Be sure the inhalation and exhalation valves are in place. Replace filters or cartridges as needed.
One of the #1 mistakes that I see when people clean and sanitize a respirator is they fail to clean the exhalation valve. The exhalation valve is what you breathe through, and our bodies are mainly fluids. Well, when we exhale fluids, and unfortunately some of those fluids tend to stick to the exhalation valve. And going beyond the fact that that's not very hygienically sound, it also can begin to make the seat of that exhalation valve not properly seat. So when you begin to inhale, instead of drawing air through the cartridges to give you clean air, you actually start drawing the hazard through the exhalation valve into your lungs, rendering what the respirator is supposed to be doing completely ineffective.
Some mistakes people make when cleaning or sanitizing, they use the wrong solution to sanitize it with. There is a special liquid that you're supposed to use that will not harm the mask and that will also rinse off clean. It doesn't leave a residue.
When cleaning the respirators, thinking, well, if it cleans paint, it's going to clean off my respirator, and actually deteriorates the rubber on the respirators, and then all of a sudden forms a leak in the respirators. So,
once clean, it's important to properly store your respirator in order to lengthen its service life. Keep it away from sunlight, dust, extreme temperatures, moisture, and damaging chemicals. Use a dust-tight container, like a resealable plastic bag, to prevent contamination or other physical damage. Never store a respirator in your work area unless it's in a proper storage container. Otherwise, the unit could get damaged. Because most toxins are undetectable if they break through, it's extremely important for you to know the service life of the respirator you're using and to replace any cartridges, canisters, or filters before their service life is up. Some respirators have an end of service life indicator, or ESLI, while others have a recommended maximum field time. Make sure you know the ESLI or your company's replacement schedule. Don't wait until the respirator malfunctions to signal that it's time to change the filter, cartridge, or canister. A large part of safe respirator use is simply using your respirator wisely. That includes keeping your respirator on until you're out of harm's way, a lesson some will learn the hard way. Smart respirator use means using your respirator for what it was designed to do. If your respirator is made to filter particulates, then don't use it to protect yourself against gases, and don't use it when oxygen levels are too low. It won't protect you. If an unknown substance is in the air or reasonable estimates of exposure aren't available, treat the air as though it's dangerous. Be keenly aware of how your respirator is functioning while you're wearing it. If you sense leakage, have difficulty breathing, or detect any type of malfunction, get to a safe area as quickly as possible, and only then remove your respirator.
There's many, but some of the bigger ones that I feel are a true hazard are worn or inappropriate cartridges for the hazard. Another one is ignoring warning signs. When you're wearing a respirator and you get short of breath or you start tasting the hazard you're working around, that needs to be a sign to you that something is wrong, and I regularly see people just work through that trying to get their job done, but ignoring the fact that that could be a warning sign telling you that there is an issue.
Lifting them up to talk or something like that, you should always try to keep that sealed on your face as much as possible.
Removing it at inappropriate times. I have seen people take a break for a cigarette and they somehow get it in their respirator. It's really extremely inappropriate.
One more thing. If there's a sudden hazardous release while you're working in an area equipped with escape-only respirators, put on the respirator as you exit. Stay calm, but don't waste a single second. You may look at the world differently when you know the air is filled with respiratory hazards. But the key is to know how to keep yourself safe. Pick a respirator that's comfortable to wear and gives you a proper face-to-face piece seal. Make sure you're honest about any health conditions, even if temporary, that may prevent you from safely wearing a respirator. Inspect your respirator every time you use it to make sure it fits correctly and is functioning properly. Keep your respirator clean and well maintained. Only use the respirator for what it's designed to do. Treat any unknown substance in the air as though it's dangerous. And never remove your respirator in a contaminated environment. Your life, your health, your every breath depends on it.